of the lies that Frank has told have come out to be lies themselves. I mean, we're talking lies about lies here. So the stories that Frank has told have built him a multi-million-dollar career. So it's pretty crazy that a lot of it is complete.
One man from Catch Me If You Can made it all up. Frank Abagnale claimed that between the ages of 16 and 21, he impersonated a Pan Am pilot, posed as a doctor, and cashed 17,000 fake checks. But in reality, he spent most of those years in jail. His biggest con ended up being getting Steven Spielberg and Leonardo DiCaprio to make a movie about all the things he claimed to have done.
The name of the show, To Tell the Truth. However, on this day, for the one and maybe only time in the history of the show, maybe all three contestants were lying. Because until that time, the world had only one way to verify Frank Abagnale's fanciful stories, and that was from Frank himself. Because of course, back then, there were no computers or Google or search engines.
At Red Team Alliance who said you can get in anywhere with a clipboard by looking like you belong.
Or an Uber badge, as we found out.
Oh, right.
Just like, hey, I'm here for the whatever.
Yeah, and once people think that you're supposed to be there, you can get away with whatever you want.
The story, as is written in Catch Me If You Can, both the book and the movie takes liberties on the book. The book, by Frank Abagnale's own admission, is not accurate to his story, but he doesn't elaborate on that. But the story was, at the age of 16, he looked a little bit older, he dressed up as a pilot, just basically walked onto planes and act like he knew what was going on.
And I'm about to confront Frank Abagnale, the con man behind Catch Me If You Can, for lying about his entire life story. He was in prison from the age of 16 to 21, and I'm gonna throw his prison records in his face. Let's see what he says.
So for 6 years, you evaded the FBI, pretending to be a pilot, a doctor, a professor. But how were you able to do that if you were like sitting in prison the whole time?
No, when this was all, I went to prison for all those things. Going to work with the FBI was after I came out of prison.
But I have your prison records right here, and clearly it took place when you were supposedly doing all these adventures.
Came over a period of time, not predicted in the movie. You know, I had nothing to do. I didn't write the book. I didn't make the movie. I didn't have anything to do with the play. Those are people's views of what I did or didn't do at that time.
Hey you. Welcome. This is Rob, and I got a story for you today. Yes. I couldn't believe it when I found out either, but Catch Me If You Can was pretty much completely made up. I hear that the reason he did it was to get rich and famous, and guess what? It worked. Anyways, today, we're diving into the intriguing story of Frank Abagnale, a man whose life has been immortalized in the film, Catch Me If You Can. But how much of his story is fact, and how much is fiction? Let's find out. Frank Abagnale was a notorious con artist in the 1960s, known for his ability to impersonate various professions, including a pilot, doctor, and lawyer. His exploits were depicted in the film starring Leonardo DiCaprio, where he was portrayed as a master of deception. However, the reality is more complex. While Abagnale did engage in criminal activities, including check fraud and impersonation, the extent to which his exploits were accurately portrayed in the movie is questionable. It's difficult to discern where the line between fact and fiction truly lies. After being caught and serving time in prison, Abagnale turned his life around. He became a security consultant, advising businesses and government agencies on fraud prevention and security measures. Despite his checkered past, he used his experiences to educate others and prevent them from falling victim to similar crimes. So, while Frank Abagnale's story may have been embellished for the silver screen, there's no denying the impact of his actions and his subsequent redemption. It serves as a reminder that truth can be stranger than fiction, and that even the most unlikely of individuals can turn their lives around for the better. Well, that's all for today. If you enjoyed this video, I'm sure you will like my video on the slap was fake. Check it out. Also, if you enjoy this kind of content, please like, share and subscribe. Please comment any suggestions or anyone you would like to see me make a video about. Remember, I love you. Thank you.
Up 42nd Street, and I saw this airline crew come out of a hotel, and I thought that would be the perfect front for me to be able to travel around the country posing as a pilot. Not only could I fly for free, but I would also be able to stay at hotels for free.
Because they do have
reciprocal.
they have reciprocal things, don't they? The airlines. I mean, it's what they call like deadheading. You can get on a plane,
Right.
if you're a member of one of the major airlines.
So the first thing to do is get a uniform, and so I called Pan American Airlines, got their switchboard, and asked for their purchasing department. I guess this was my first con, and when the purchasing officer came on, I told him that I was a pilot based in L.A., was here in New York on a layover. Someone had stolen my uniform. Where could I get a replacement? And he sent me down to the uniform company and called up ahead, told them I was coming. They fitted me out. When he was done, the uniform manufacturer said, I said, how much is it? He said, well, it's $289. I said, well, I'll write you a check. He said, no, I can't take a check. I said, well, I'll pay you in cash. He said, no, I can't take cash. So I said, oh, he said, I have to bill this back to your payroll account and it'll be deducted from your uniform allowance. I said, oh, that's even better.
Oh, of course it is.